Hi anyone, I'm Luppi and we are playing some more Mario Minecraft. How are you guys this week? I have been fighting my Wii U Pro Controller for the past 2 minutes. It's not a big thing, it's just sometimes, for whatever reason, whenever I start playing Mario Minecraft, or just Minecraft on the Wii U, it likes to drift to the side for some reason. I don't know if that's just like there's a moment when the game is being loaded where like the controller disconnects and reconnects, or if it's something else. I don't know what it is. It's really weird. But it's so far something I've only experienced with Minecraft. So I don't know. I have no answers. We're gonna start off the same way we've done the last few weeks, is some mining in the Nether, and then we'll move on to other stuff. Hopefully we can get done mining the Nether at some point. Okay, I'm on fire. It's just a little fire. That's all. Oh, me and I have stuff. Oh wait, no, this is the good stuff. This is the stuff we're bringing here, right? I hope so. Be a dang shame if it wasn't. But yeah, in any case, gonna be another boring one, so I apologize. I don't know if I have anything to talk about that's interesting. I kind of caught myself reading a bunch of new series online, but they're not really things I'm willing to talk about. I don't know, it's just sometimes you find yourself reading something that's like interesting because the idea is kind of novel, but it's still basically just inappropriate for mixed company. I don't know, usually I just read random shonen stuff, so it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't know, man. My tastes are all over the place. It's not often I find myself reading a series that's basically hentai. But sometimes you do. Sometimes you find yourself reading such a thing. And some of them actually have good plot, many of them don't. Generally, my feelings are, when it comes to manga and anime, if it has, and also video games, I feel kind of too. If it has to rely on sex to sell, then it's probably not like strong in the story department. That's not always true, you know, but I feel like it's true enough where you definitely can discount a lot of things, which is kind of sad because we are, you know, sex is a part of a normal human life, or at least it should be. Unless you're like a priest or for whatever reason taking a vow of celibacy. I don't know what I'm talking about in like the first 5 minutes. We've dived into a very personal kind of a line of inquiry. But at the same time, like, it's not, I don't know, it's definitely one of those things where, especially in the gaming community, like, especially if you're younger, if an adult is talking to you about sexual things, definitely report them. Definitely report me, it's okay. It's fine. I don't want to meet people. I'm not here because I'm lonely, or I want to exploit people, or I have some sort of weird thing in my head where like I want to put people in cages or trick them into meeting me, exploiting you. I'm not into that. I really don't want to be touched by people in general. I don't know. I feel about people the same way people feel about like spiders or cockroaches. Like, intellectually, in a vacuum, I can appreciate the function you have in like life, and I can see you as charming, like standing away from you, but you still make my skin crawl. I don't know. That's a me thing. I don't think there's any reason for it. That's just the way I am. Other people make me incredibly creeped out, and that's okay. I function in society as best as I can. With a lot of resentment. And a lot of weird spinal twitching. And that's my secret tick. People usually don't notice that. I hide it pretty well, but yeah. A weird like shiver and like twitch up and down my spine. Always deeply uncomfortable. That's how I describe myself. The best phrase to describe me in real life is deeply uncomfortable. And that's okay. That's probably why I gravitate to video games. Because the pretend world's full of pretend people that don't like make me uncomfortable. It's really nice. That's also why I liked books as a kid. And it's not to say I don't have friends, and it's not to say I didn't have friends, but I don't know. I grew into a person where like other people make my skin crawl. And it's a pretty extreme reaction to other people. But you know, it's just how it is. But yeah, definitely take sexual things seriously on the internet. Don't let yourself be exploited. Definitely have trusted adults in real life. You can, like, it's not even tattling, it's just like, it's straight up reporting them. You are doing society a favor when you get these people locked up, when you get them banned from internet spaces. Yeah, get rid of the creeps. We should all be not creepy. And I say this as someone who is both intentionally and unintentionally creepy on multiple levels. Like, yeah, we should be less creepy. That's my rant. Get rid of creeps. Do your part. Get them banned. Block and report. Report them. Report the heck out of them. Websites that don't let you report people aren't worth being on. I don't know. Let's have a less creepy society and a less creepy... And like... I don't know. It's like I said, like the multiple levels of creepiness, you know? Like there's... Like... people who look up dead people on the internet, you know? And then there's someone who's literally only on websites to look for, like, vulnerable people to exploit. Don't let yourself be exploited. If you're the person who likes to look up baby corpses or animals in jars, like, power to you. I don't understand it. You're probably part of the reason why I'm creeped out of humanity, but I don't know. I can appreciate the limitless potential for, like, interest that people have. I just don't appreciate the whole flesh and blood of it all. And that's the thing, that's what it really is. I'm grossed out by like the flesh and blood of it all. If I could be poured out and like live as literally anything else, like I would love that. In fact, I feel like I've talked about it, how like the way I'd want to die is like having my mind uploaded into any sort of machine and then having that machine like step on my brain and spinal column. I think that'd be a really good way to die. It'd be really neat. And like, the dumb thing is, like, that's definitely a way where, like, if it happened in a movie, it'd be an evil scientist, like, being destroyed by his own creation. Where me, it's like, I can't make a machine. I can change a MacBook's hard drive. That's about as much as I know about, like, machines. But yeah, I don't know, like, I don't know, it's an existential thing, being able to appreciate, like, certain kinds of ways to, have your life end, and it is a really bleak subject, and it's a really weird one to tackle, because if you're too optimistic about it, it really, like, bums people out or freaks people out, which is understandable. But at the same time, like, and also the other angle is, if you come up with really good ideas, like you can kind of like brainworm people who are kind of susceptible to that. I don't know, like you never know what's gonna set somebody off and lead them down a weird path. Like that's the unfortunate thing about how the human brain works is we don't really know how it works. And there's so many dumb little like psychological tricks that can just like wreck people's like perspective. I don't know. And it doesn't even have to be in a dark way. Like, read a book about, or just listen to like a person in like advertisement. Like the little tricks they know to like capture people's attention and to keep like an idea in people's heads. Like, it's insidious. And like these people will like they'll talk about it very cheerily too. They'll be like blah blah blah. Sometimes it's better to have an ad that people hate just because like the hatred allows it to stick longer in a people's brain, and it's like, okay. I don't like that. Not a fan of that. I don't know. But yeah, try not to let people or organizations or the government like exploit your human needs and wants to turn you into someone you don't want to be. Remember, you have the choice, you have the agency. You can make a choice, you can make choices, you can live a life you're proud of. This is your PSA from a guy who is deeply uncomfortable about the existence of other people, who desperately wants to live in a hole, but also likes modern amenities like toilets and the internet too much to ever abandon humanity fully. Honestly, it's the clothes. I like clothes. They're a nice barrier between me and all that skin. I like people wearing clothes. Not in a weird way, just in a like... I don't like the physicality of the human race. It's weird. I don't know. And I say this as somebody who's also got like a sculptural background, and like I love figural sculptures. That's what I like to make. I like to make things. And I make people all the time, but like clay or wax or metal people are not flesh and blood people. And if the people I make ever came to life, I'd actually think that's pretty cool. I know that's also a very common horror trope of like the artist making a painting or a sculpture that comes to life and like ruins their life or haunts them or whatever. I would embrace it. Don't even care what it's trying to do. Trying to suck out my soul, I mean, if I had a sculpture trying to eat my eyeballs, I'd be a little upset about that. Not because, like, how dare you eat my eyeballs, but, like, that's a really gross part of the body to eat. And if you're going to eat my eyeballs, I would appreciate it if you, like, please kill me first. And that's all I ask. If you're going to eat my soft organs, like, don't be like a bear or a wolf where you just kind of like start munching on the guts while I'm screaming in pain or twitching. Like, just crush my throat. Do something. I don't know. That's really bleak as well. I don't know why we're talking about this. I don't know. I guess it's just one of those days where I don't really have anything I did all week. Got a lot of editing done. Got some uploading done. I don't know. I'm just realizing it's kind of pointless. It's kind of pointless to keep buying new games if I'm not gonna have the time to play them. And I get like that every once in a while. And that's really sad. But someday we'll have the time to work out the backlog. Hopefully. But yeah, I've been struggling with the controller, also with a frog in my throat. When I was doing my my mic tests, which I do sometimes, I don't always, but sometimes, you know, if I remember, oh yeah, I didn't really like the quality last time, I'll just kind of try to alter it a little bit. But yeah, I had a serious frog in my throat, and it's just like, get out of there, man. You don't belong there. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the whole human experience, like flesh and blood wise. Big fan of the human experience, like mentally. Like I enjoy being a human intellectually, psychologically. Not a fan of being a human, like physically. I don't know. Maybe someday they'll separate it out so I can be a psychic human without a physical presence. That'd be neat. I know that's basically like a ghost or a soul or whatever, but you know, whatever. Don't worry about it. We're all human. It's all humans all the way down. Other than everything that's not a human. Like 99% of life that's ever existed. Not human. Gotta love it. I don't know. I keep seeing whenever I end up on my phone, whenever I check the internet and I have a blank page. Like it brings up a bunch of like Google will bring up articles, and like one of them will always be like something I already know, like scientifically, like what was I just gonna say? Like there's a very specific article title I was gonna talk about. Oh, like all life is descended from the same thing. Like all life that exists on Earth is descended from the same common ancestor, and it's like, yeah. Yes. That's how humans and bananas can share genes. That's how literally every organism on this planet shares genes, is because we're all descended from the same thing. Like, that's how that functions. That's how that works. I don't know. Evolution is pretty wild when you think about it. Like, it'd be even more wild if it actually functioned with any sort of, like, determination or any sort of direction. We should be really glad it doesn't. Like, on one hand, that does mean you have, like, sometimes, occasionally, the weirdest animals ever. Or the most disgusting kinds of, like, ways to live, period. You know, like hagfish swimming in, like, creatures' butts to eat their guts. Or literally any kind of parasite is terrible. I don't know. Reading about parasites is probably enough to break people's wills, I imagine. It definitely breaks my wills. My will? Singular, not wills plural. It's only Luppi in here, nobody else. Just me. But yeah, there's a lot of creepy, freaky, terrible parasites in the world. It's kind of unfortunate. Some of them have some really novel ways to survive and live, but yeah, I know. Let's see if we can't get rid of all these. There we go. We got them all, right? Okay, I think we did. That's good. Let's see. We've got that 10, 9. So we got like what, 11 spaces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so 5 of these should be good enough, right? 5 or 6. Oops. We'll do 6 and hope that's good enough. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, I'm realizing if I am going to do PSAs in the future, I should really like plan out what I'm going to say beforehand. Because otherwise, I feel like it's really easy to say something really unfortunate. If you just go off the cuff, if you just go unscripted, it's real easy to just be a total ding-dong about it. And I know I'm usually a fairly pretty much a big ding-dong, but I don't know, I feel like there are nuggets of wisdom that can be reiterated and should be like talked about in a way where it's not totally like dumb. And maybe those things just require somebody who isn't me saying them. I don't know. Hey, buddy. I feel like you're louder and you got a different voice from your adult friends. Your grown buddies, your parents, your family. Oh no. I'm already yawning, and we're not even half an hour in. Gosh darn it. Okay, cool. I appreciate the light. It's nice. Heck yeah. Okay. I did order some Mother Day gifts though, and 2 out of the 3 things are going to be late, so it's like, that sucks. That stinks. That's life. I guess that's just how it goes. I imagine if you don't get things well ahead of time going forward, you may not be able to get things, period. So, we'll see. We'll see how things go. Maybe there won't be any shortages. Maybe it'll just be like COVID, where we have a week or 2 or 3 of where like tons of things are like all over the place and like going haywire, and then everything will kind of be back to normal with some shortages. Who knows? All I know is I'm not really tolerant of things not going as expected in my life, so we'll see. I know that's a real first world problem way of looking at things though. I understand. I know. That's definitely a lot of my problems though, are very much like self-inflicted first world kind of problems, or just things where if I wasn't so like privileged or selfish, it wouldn't be an issue at all. And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay that I'm like privileged or selfish. It's okay to have issues where it's like, why is this like this? It's no one's fault. It's just I have expectations and they're not being met. Oh no, not lava cubes. Wow, we're really leveling up. I have not been paying attention at all. Well, I mean, I feel like I have, but level 19. Wow, I feel like we were just at level like what? 3 or 4 because we kept falling down or whatever. Oh, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's just ambiance. I choose to believe that was ambiance. I truly wonder how much, and I say I truly wonder, like, we know that this area is going to be huge if we ever do fully mine it out. I don't think we will, but I do appreciate it being relatively safer than the rest of the Nether. Just gotta worry about lava cubes and whatever. Okay, you jumped at me. Goodbye. Okay. Not enough XP. Dang. Yeah, I don't know if I'm looking forward to anything at this point. Like, I feel like everything seems kind of samey same and kind of muted. Like, in terms of my life. I'm just waiting for things to be different, I guess. I'm waiting for things to be over, that's not a good attitude. That's not a good place to be. It's kind of exhausting, emotionally, mentally. Can I stick the magma cream? I cannot. Okay. That's fair. think what we'll do is we'll probably run back to the... Wow, there's a lot of magma cubes over here. They're spawning. They're here to slay me for my opinions. They're saying you don't know how old your viewer base is, so it's inappropriate to talk about things like that you talk about, like dying, or how you'd prefer to be like, how you'd prefer to be killed in real life. In general though, being serious, I would not like to be. I'd like to live as long as I can. And while I doubt my physical body's ability to actually last that long, I would like to live another 100 years. Don't think it's gonna happen, but I'd love to see it. Definitely give me time to do some of that stuff I want to do. Remember, you can always say you always want to do something, and you know, you might not have the time to do it. Live your life the best you can, I say. Spending hundreds of hours playing the same Minecraft world, and playing a little bit too much Animal Crossing all the time. Yeah. Going back to serious topics though, definitely don't let yourselves be groomed. Definitely. That's a big thing, especially if you're a little more active in like real life gaming communities. Like, a lot of people aren't bad, but all it takes is one bad person to ruin the whole community, the whole like scene for you forever. So just be mindful. Up there, and I guess like also be mindful that it's not always like the obvious creeps. There are a lot of people who are charming, friendly, seem perfectly normal and fine, who are also capable of pretty horrible things. I don't know. It's a hard thing to talk about. And maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe it should be something we can all just talk about easy peasy. But at the same time, like, it is a pretty hard thing to talk about. A heavy thing to talk about. But yeah, all the hate should go to the groomers and the exploiters. Why can't we all just live our lives as we want to, you know? And enjoy our hobbies, enjoy public spaces, and not have to be, like, singled out unfairly. I don't know, I'm not a serious enough person to really give a real thought behind this, I guess. Or at least I don't think I am. I don't know. If you think I'm doing a good job, then tell me. That would be nice to hear, I guess. Okay. I knew that's how it would go, but it's not how I want it to be. I feel like, though, it should be fine just to, run out and then run back in. I think that should be okay. And I guess this is a very different conversation. But, I always remember John Mulaney's, like, diatribe about, Crime Stoppers. There was a Crime Stopper guy or whatever who'd go to his school when he was a school kid. And basically the guy would give tips on how, like, what you should do if you're ever kidnapped or approached by somebody who wants to kidnap you. And, like, a lot of it is just, like, the standard stranger danger stuff from, like, the 90s. But also, some of it's actually pretty good. the thing that sticks with me is like never go to a second location. And it's like, yeah, that's actually really great advice. Generally, like, I don't know the actual statistic, I don't know the actual percentage, but like a significant amount of people who are unwillingly taken to a second location don't leave that second location alive. And I mean, like, if you're getting like trafficked or kidnapped, you know, like, good things don't happen in those kinds of situations, unfortunately. So it's really, really kind of terrifying that we've kind of got a government agency that's willing to do that kind of stuff to people. I don't know. I'm not a fan of... I'm generally not a fan of even, like, badged up government officials or government agents, like, disappearing people. I think that's a really gross thing, really scary thing. It's even worse when it's people who aren't uniformed, no badges, no proof that they're actually, like, in an agency just doing whatever. I don't know, if I wanted to undermine the safety of the populace at large and allow people to just do whatever they wanted, period, I would do stuff like that, I suppose, or allow stuff like that to happen. I don't know, I just think increasing the amount of kidnappings that happen is pretty bad. Especially when it's the government doing it. That's me. That's my opinion. I would like to see people being able to live their lives and make the best of it. It's already hard enough as it is. There are already so many people who are pretty dedicated to ruining that for everybody. So, I don't know. I want everybody to have the big win-win if we can. And I'd really only revoke that for people who are willing to harm other people, I guess. I don't know. What does it take, and what does it require to have a free nation? It's kind of an interesting question. People have been talking, more like debating, musing about such questions for a long time. And I don't think there's ever really a concrete answer. I feel like every country that exists is trying to create an answer, but not actively. It's like a passive thing. By its own existence, you know, you get your answers. Let's see, do we get, yeah, we can get some more netherrack. That's cool. Just a little bit. Just 16 pieces. Okay. Alright, we'll mine, we'll fill up our inventory once again, and then we will call it a day on the mining. I'll get off my high horse and we will get on the airship. Hooray. No. Not my netherrack. I need that. There we go. Boop. That's not what I want to do at all. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. Alright. Oh, the sacrificial netherrack. Oh well. It is what it is. Although there's a part of me in hindsight realizing I could just dig a hole in front of it and then let it just pour out into that. I suppose that would also work. If we had those quick reflexes, if we had the quick wit, we could do that. We could pull that off. More ambiance. Gotta appreciate it. Until it turns out there's like a blaze behind me. And there was no ambiance, it was just, I'm getting stalked by a powerful creature. powerful elemental, if you will. Okay, where's my sword? Neat. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't take us a whole hour to mine all this stuff. That would suck. That would be unfortunate. But if it does, we still got another hour to donk around. I think what I want to do today is maybe move around those masts. And probably just get rid of that dirt thing underneath, the dirt platform. And then maybe redo the anchor, I think, would probably another okay idea. Just a little bit. Just gonna move it around a little bit. We're not gonna totally change how we set it up. We're just gonna change how we deal with it, how we look at it, how we climb it up. But yeah, that's the plan. Masts and anchor, and then that'll probably be it. If it's not, then we'll deal with it somehow else, I guess. Okay, there's more stuff up here. That's cool. Look at that, hearing all those little pop, snapping whatevers. Neat. Please don't get hit by me. That would make me really sad. I don't want to hit that guy. I don't know if I could survive. I don't know if there's enough of them around to actually be an active threat. There's like one over there, but I don't know if that one would get activated. Oh well. I don't like hearing them scream, so we'll move on. We will do what we can. Boop boop ba-doop boop boop. Yeah, what were we talking about? We were just talking about something. Huh. I don't know. I completely, it slipped my mind. The train has left the station and I didn't buy a ticket. I was late. Oh well. I did not board the train. Okay. That's too bad. I'm sure I had something fun to say. Maybe not. Maybe I would have just kept talking about dumb stuff. But huh. Yeah, my brain is turned off. I am sorry about that. I always say, like, oh, I'll play earlier, or I'll play at a different time, and I'll make time next time, and I won't be tired, and I'll have stuff to talk about, and then I don't, and I kind of feel bad about that. Especially because we're just mining netherrack for like an hour. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm so sorry. I should do timestamps so like people can just skip this stuff. Skip the weird life rants and attempts to be personable and the mining of the netherrack. I wish we could all just skip to the part where I've already mined everything. Wouldn't that be nice? I don't know, sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not though. I think the most stressful kind of like Minecraft mining is when you desperately need something and you don't even need that much of it. It's just that like no matter where you mine, you're not finding it. That's frustrating. That sucks. I'm being chased down by these little guys. Look at that, more magma cube. Or more magma cream. So it goes, so it goes. Such is life. Well, that was convenient. I guess we'll see how much more we can do. How much more we need to do. Still a fair amount, I would say. We are really opening up this space, though. We should definitely do something here. Especially once we reach a point where, if we reach a point where we're no longer mining, we should definitely do something with this space. I don't know what we would do, what we could turn it into, but it needs to be something. We need to terraform. Maybe that's what we do. We just get some blue and white wool and make a sky, a nice blue sky with clouds, and then we get some freaking grass and dirt in here and have a whole layer of the nether just be like a perfectly normal, nice area to be. A real happy place. No lava. No hellstone. Just a good vibes. Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to what the future could bring. I'm also kind of dreading it. I feel like that's generally how I am, though. Like, I feel like the best moments are the ones where you can be ambivalent, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just gotta, still gotta kind of keep an eye on things, keep an ear to the ground. I have been watching The Simpsons, though, on the internet. It's been kind of neat. I don't know, the quality of the cartoon, of the animation, I think it's not the quality of the animation so much as like the quality of like however it was recorded and like uploaded is like really terrible. I don't know, maybe that's just how it was and it looked better on like the CRTVs. I don't know, CRT TVs, whatever the acronym or letters are. You know what I'm talking about. The old TVs. Or we had the flat screens and whatever. And the HD TVs, you know. Back in the old days where TVs had tubes and required multiple people to move around. Oh, those horrible days. Yep. But yeah, I don't know. It has been really nice though, going through the first 2 seasons of The Simpsons and being like, I remember snippets of these episodes because I used to watch them as a kid. When my mom was at work and my dad was out working in the garage, I'd just sit on the couch and watch Fox 28, or was that Fox 28 at the time? I don't remember. It was some sort of 20 channel The Simpsons would play on. I'd watch Roseanne and Mad About You, and there's a few other ones. What were they? But I was just waiting for The Simpsons to come on. Sometimes you get 2 episodes, even though there were reruns, you get 2 of them, and that was nice. Most of the time it's just the one. But yeah. I don't know. As a kid, like, Roseanne and Mad About You just kind of went over my heads. As a kid, though, I really didn't like watching anything that wasn't animated, though. Like, to the point where I would skip the parts of Space Jam that didn't have the Looney Tunes in them. Like, I was not happy. I was not having it. Not dealing with real people. And I know that's like, I feel like I'm hearing blazes though. I hope that's ambiance. I don't know where they'd be coming from. Unless they're above me, if they're in the void above the world. Or outside of the little cube we're in. I don't know. Kinda creepy. But yeah, I did not have the patience for like real media with real people. I'm like that though in many ways though. I still prefer to watch animated stuff over live action. But I'm really picky about... Oh, excuse me. Yawning. I'm real picky about like how I'll watch things. Like with anime. If I've read the manga and I like the manga, I generally won't engage with the anime. If I watch an anime first though, and then I find a manga, like I'll read the manga, that's no problem. But yeah, if I read the manga first and really enjoy it, I probably won't watch the anime. There are some exceptions, like I watched Black Cat after reading the manga. I watched Azumanga Daioh after really like loving the manga. Like, I don't know, Azumanga Daioh is one of those things where I found it at like I was about to go into high school when I found it and read it. So like I enjoyed it. It was very like topical for me at the time. And then when I was graduating high school and going to art school, I found what was it? It was an art school one. An art school like for Koma manga. I want to say it was like G5 or like I forget the name actually. I feel bad about that. Cuz like that was another one where like it ended like shortly after the last volume got published in the US shortly after I graduated art school. So it was like just perfectly timed for me. Like that was kind of beautiful. I hope if you enjoy media, you have a piece of media like that where it's like you found it at just the right time where like it just kind of like made your life better. Kind of made you feel a little less alone. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Being a ding dong. There we go. That's close enough, right? There we go. Not my netherrack. But yeah, it's interesting because like my opinions on art are basically like, yeah, art can't save the world, art's not changing people's minds, blah blah blah. And like I openly talk about like these random experiences I've had with other people's art. And it's like, yeah, it's definitely impacted me. But it's not like the artist made the art to like do that to me, you know? Like it's not like anybody wrote an entire manga just so an American kid would feel a little bit better about going to art school or feel a little bit better about high school or laugh. I don't know. But definitely, like, the media we consume definitely does affect us. Or at least it should. It should, leave some sort of impact on you. Kind of weird and kind of sad if it doesn't. Let's see, we've got 8. So we need, at the very least, another one. Okay. Got it. Yeah, it's probably a little regrettable, but you know, that's fine. That's life. Stick me there. And then, there we go. And there we go. And there's our 6 pickaxes. Cool, cool. Let's use these and bust them up, and then hey, get the heck out of here. Call it goodsies for today. I did not want to do that, actually. That was not the right choice. Man, look at you guys. Look at dropping all your magma cream. I just want your experience points. I just want your XP. And give me that sweet, sweet XP, please. That guy got knocked around a bit. I guess they all do, okay. It's not really a unique thing, it's kind of just how it is. Okay. That's good to know, I guess. But yeah, one of the weird series I read, and I haven't finished it, I haven't gotten to the end yet, is like Ponzu of the Stars or something like that, or Patsu of the Stars. I think it's something like that, but it's basically about some kids who find a mysterious alien creature. And they take care of it for a bit, but then they make a deal with it. And then it's all downhill from there, basically. I don't know if I like it or not. Like, I generally enjoy dark things where, like, people kind of get screwed over a little bit, but I don't know. I guess I'll have better opinions when I've fully read it. Well, it only has like, I think it's only like 1 volume long, but like all the chapters are really long. I feel that's why I keep getting like, I don't know. I'm a weekly reader, okay? If it's longer than 20 pages, I'm not interested. And then the other one is definitely one I don't want to talk about because it's basically just hentai. Hentai with a plot in like 20 volumes. And on one hand, I kind of feel bad about labeling it like that because it does have a plot and like, it's just like, gratuitous sex is just a plot point. But because of that, it is pretty like saucy. Not age appropriate at all. And I don't know if I like it or not still. Like, I don't know. It's something I found by accident and was like, well, this sounds too stupid to actually be good. And then like, I don't know. It's got some funny moments. It's got some horrifying moments. I guess I'm kind of in it to see like, I kind of want to see if the main character dies. That's kind of where it's gonna go, I think. He's gonna pull a Luppi and then like just shorten his life repeatedly to save his friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it is a series about gratuitous sex, so you know, it's definitely a very weird one. Okay, we may actually have too many pickaxes, unfortunately. We may have to give up a pickaxe. Unfortunately. We'll see. And then Oh, one thing else I started watching too, and then I kind of stopped was what was it? It was an anime. It was called Rising of the Shield Hero, I think it was. And I don't know how I feel about that one either. Like, I don't know. Like, I definitely like the isekai premise of like getting summoned to another world to be its hero, and then like getting like screwed over by the people who summoned you. Like, that is actually a really novel idea. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've gotten through season 1 yet, so we'll see. My opinions may change as I get further. It may change if we get caught up, they may change for the negative. I don't know. We'll see. Negative, positive, you never know. I guess to me the weirdest choice is having a literal slave trader be like the most positive relationship the main character has for the first couple of video episodes. That's kind of a pretty wild. And like, I kind of get it. If you've been screwed over by everybody else and you have this guy who's like, yeah, I'm only in it for the money and for my business. My business is shady as crap, but I'm in it for the money, so I'm not gonna betray people. It works in my favor to have real positive word of mouth and have people like enjoy my products, with my products being literal people. I don't know, it's like I'm laughing, but it's actually really gross. But it is kind of neat to see. I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't know if I'm okay with it or not. And then you combine that with like, he does buy a slave girl, but because she's like half animal, like she's a beastkin or whatever, like she ages up as she levels up, because like this world is like video game logic, but only with like in really specific ways, and only certain people can like utilize the full potential of like the game logic, which is kind of interesting too. Like, that's a really fascinating idea, like, you know, having people who are like in-game heroes or like whatever, who can like utilize like video game stats and see statuses and stuff, and then having people who are like more or less NPCs who can't. That's a really cool idea. Like bleak. It's fairly bleak, but it is kind of neat. But to age up a young child so that she can be a love interest for the main character, that's kind of gross, personally. I don't know. I'm always really weirded out with like stuff like that. Because personally, I think it would be, or at least, I don't know what I'd rather want. Like, from a person from the United States point of view, like the topic of slavery always makes me a little uncomfortable in general. And I feel like it's definitely a topic where it should. In general, like, we should be, as human beings, we should be upset with the idea that like there are people who, due to their privilege or money or whatever, can own other people, and there's nothing you can do about it. And completely disregarding like the fact that the United States fought a war over it, completely disregarding that like in many ways it hasn't been fully abolished in the United States, that there are more slaves today than there were like 200 years ago, which is kind of a sad and gross kind of thing to think about. I don't know. It's definitely a serious topic that should be treated with a little more seriousness than like it is the backdrop that allows us to have a child raccoon girl. At the same time, though, like, it does get utilized, but I don't know. It's a very, I don't know. It's a very iffy thing. And I definitely wouldn't judge people who would discount the series entirely just because of that. Like, I understand completely. At the same time, I can kind of understand people like, yeah, but it's, you know, you should let the artist say what they want, let the art be what it is, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get that too. Its existence isn't hurting anybody. But I definitely feel like we can critique, like, the messages and themes it has. Yeah. Yeah, you should always be able to critique. I feel like the big thing about critique, though, is... I don't know, I feel like it's really easy to take one person's word as like a gospel, like, opinion. Like, take someone's opinion, one person's opinion, and like treat it as the soul-defining thing. Like, that's how everybody should do a piece of media. And I mean, that's not really how it should be. Like, I'm critiquing Rising of the Sealed Hero because, like, yeah, I don't actually know if it handles, like, the topic of slavery in a way that is, like, not gross. But I'd also be kind of mindful of the fact that, like, as a person from the United States, my concept of slavery is definitely tied to the transatlantic slave trade and the United States history of slavery, which was incredibly racially based. Like, I don't know, it's hard to disconnect that from the topic of slavery, whereas somebody who didn't grow up in the United States will have a different idea of slavery, I guess you could say. Because I feel like a similar conversation happened when, what is it? The series Chained Soldier? Nah. Chained Slave, right? Got localized, and the title they went with was Chained Soldier or whatever. Soldier? Yeah. Yeah, that's the word they used, right? Okay, so next time we'll fill in that little box, and then we will begin working on this stuff. Hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. We're almost... Or we just spend today just finalizing this stuff. And then we spend tomorrow doing... Or not tomorrow, but, you know, next week, next video. What do I want to do? We can go to the Nether one more time. It's fine. Kinda sucks, but, you know, if it means next time we're done with this crap, then... Next time we're done with this crap, like, we haven't been doing it forever. Like, we didn't choose to do this. That's the thing. I chose to do this. This is... what I chose to do. Okay. Yeah, I definitely feel like... There are definitely a bunch of topics, though, where doing them poorly or not treating them with the weight that they should, like, have kind of reflects poorly. I don't know. What are topics you don't want to see done poorly in, like, fictional media? I feel like we've all got some. Our ideological pet peeves. I don't know. I might still keep watching it, so I can have a stronger opinion. It's really weird. It's kind of jarring to see the concept of slavery. And I guess, like, you know, it's a fictional world. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I have to like it. Especially like the trope of like the magical like slave crest. Like that always grosses me out too. I think that's probably the thing that bothers me the most. Is like media that like you just brand someone with a magical seal and then they have to like obey you. Like that's pretty gross. And like Shield Hero does use it in kind of like novel ways. Like at the same time, it's like, yeah, but I don't know. It's a really weird thing. I have mixed feelings on it. But yeah, that's my feelings on Rising of the Shield Hero. If slavery is a no-go or a touchy subject for you, like I would avoid it or be just mindful of it. If you just want to see if you want to see a bunch of attractive beast girls fight to the death for a cynical guy with a shield and watch watch him repeatedly get screwed over by the world he got summoned into, and watch the other people he got summoned in with make increasingly dumber choices while considering themselves to be the okay. Yikes, you got me. Didn't like that. I was yapping. I was not paying attention. That's on me. But I do want to deal with... Okay. Come on. And then what I want to do is get close enough where we can get one up in there. Don't know if we'll be able to, but we'll try. Definitely not. Nope, we did the wrong thing. Oh crap, I may die. Okay, it's gray that sends us back, right? How unfortunate. We made probably the wrong choice. It's fine. We'll get our stuff back. We'll continue mining. We will deal with this lava pouring out of the ceiling. We are done talking about the ethics of slavery in fictional media. My opinion is kind of gross. Could be an okay thing if it's done tastefully. No. Why are you in my way? Neat. This is exactly the kind of situation we want. Suck it, idiot. You're trapped in a heck, and I am trapped in a heck as well. We're all trapped in a heck here. And doing our best and coming up short. Okay, let us go back to our spot. Let's eat some carrots, and then once we have full health and don't have to worry about burning to death, we will continue doing whatever we were doing. What a tragedy. Okay, we got a magma cube. I'm surprised we got up here though. No, my stuff's okay. We were far away enough. A little too close to that, but I feel like for the most part we only have We do not have very much armor left, do we? Darn. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's heal up and let's see if we can't plug this hole. Awesome. That's all we had to do. Hey, buddy. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. I'm no longer in a mood to play. And I was reading a few other things. Really? Oh, that's not too bad. I'll take it. Nice. Fascinating. Okay, cool. You get to die. Oh well. I did watch a few other things, like, I tried watching Decadence and Wandering Witch. And I didn't really get into either one. I feel like Decadence is something where you kind of need to be actually paying attention to it. You can't really just have it on as background noise. By sheer virtue of, like, it's a little complicated, personally. Some characters actually have two different worlds they're from, or in, you could say. It's a very interesting, like, idea. It's just like, I don't know, a little too much for me just kind of watching it while I do other stuff. And then I don't know why I couldn't get into Wandering Witch. Just, not my cup of tea. Maybe I need to watch a little bit more. Or be in a different mindset. Maybe it's just something I can't maybe it's just something you don't watch while you're playing Smash Bros. I don't know. I don't know. I do like to have things on in the background, though. I like the background noise. I appreciate the sound of the human voice. I just don't appreciate... Actually, like, scientifically, intellectually, I do appreciate, like, how humans... Like, how we people speak and how we make noises and stuff. Like, that's really cool. You know, your voice box, your throat, your tongue muscles all working together. But, like, thinking about it kind of grosses me out. Not a fan of human organs. If I could get all that organ and blood stuff to be, like, removed from me and still be me, I'd do it. Although, you know, I always say, if you could pour me out into literally anything else, I'd be literally anything else. A piano, a pot. I don't know what else. Probably not a go-kart. I don't know if I'd enjoy being a go-kart. But yeah, I feel like I'd enjoy being a lot of other things, though. It would suck them out of hands. I kind of like having people hands. They're kind of neat. But I would definitely appreciate not having a bunch of other random human parts. Like a throat. Or a nose. Eyes. Our poor, sensitive, vulnerable, gooey eyes. Complex enough to make Darwin question his theory of evolution because he couldn't explain why they exist. Or how they could come to be. Only he understood that it took literally hundreds of millions of years and they started out as weird patches of skin that could detect light. Pretty cool. Pretty neat stuff. Okay. Does that get me close enough? It does not. Dang. Okay. Well, luckily for me, that almost did. Dang. There we go. That will. Here we are. Although thinking about it, going back to like slavery in media, like Steven Universe has the pearls, which are like all but stated to be like basically glorified slaves, you know? Definitely a bottom tier rung of society, of the hierarchy, who exists to like hold things and sing and be pretty. Like, they never say the word slave, which I think is why it rings differently in my head and in my feelings, but also because like we spend most of the cartoon like learning who Pearl is, our Pearl, and then we meet other Pearls and kind of get introduced to the idea of like how a Pearl functions in like greater gem society. I don't know. Like it definitely does like or at least Steven Universe definitely does keep the idea that like Pearl's position in Gem Society was kind of like a negative thing for who she is now, because it does still weigh on her and influence like her own actions going forward. Whereas like in Rising of the Shield Hero, like what's her name? Raffleta? Something like that. The main secondary protagonist, the slave raccoon girl, Tanuki girl. C actually gets her slave crest removed, and then C voluntarily gets it put back on. I don't know. I guess like it's a really weird series personally, and I don't know how I feel about things. Whereas I kind of know how I feel about stuff in like Steven Universe. I enjoy the show. I wish it got the full 10 seasons it deserved. I really do. I feel like a lot of people's issues with like the pacing in the last season, or the pacing in general of like the third and fourth, especially the fourth season, would have been kind of alleviated. But oh well. Still got some pretty cool episodes out of it though, so I can't complain. I enjoyed it. And I definitely think like there's definitely a part of me though that kind of does wonder if it's even worthwhile to like critique media as whether or not it's I don't know, like problematic, I guess, or whether or not like, and I don't think I am. I think what I'm doing is just like it gives me a bad feel, or it makes me think about things that like I don't think are the intentions of the author, and it's like, well, you know, like these are some pretty grim implications, actually, you know, like, and sometimes that's fine, and sometimes that's not. Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about judging a work. I don't know. I don't know. I guess if somebody argues it well, then, like, I'll listen to their opinions, and if people don't argue things well, then, like, you can ignore their opinions. But just because I dislike their opinions doesn't mean they're not well argued. Just because I like somebody's opinions or agree with their opinions doesn't mean it's well argued either. I think those are kind of important things to think about when critiquing media or evaluating media. Like, we should try to give things a fair shake, but not everything does deserve a fair shake. Some things are made to be cynical, mean, terrible things. Some things are literally made to, like, dunk on people. And whether or not you think it's fair or not probably depends on your perspective and your relationship to the thing or the media being mocked. I don't know, maybe I should just watch Kill la Kill again. Man, there was a time in my life where I watched that anime like once a year. I don't know why. I guess it's just a comfort thing. It's just it resonates with me somehow. So I always go back to it. I don't think it's the greatest anime ever, definitely, but it's definitely got some pretty cool bops. An easy enough story to follow, even while doing other stuff. And it's got some decent, like, character development for most of its characters, I would say. And it definitely, I think it does a really good job of running on Studio Trigger's, like, rule of cool. And, doing, like, just being, like, absolutely crazy and stupid at the same time kind of logic. I think it does that really well. All while being it's stupid and complicated enough where you can, like, argue that it's a really good metaphor for, like, just girls becoming women. Or you could argue that it's not doing that at all and it's just a very sexist, very weird anime that rips off its entire second half from Chrono Trigger. Like, you could say that. It's just Chrono Trigger without instead of time travel, it's clothes. That's the gimmick. I do enjoy Kill la Kill though. I would recommend it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's definitely mine. For better or for worse. Whatever that says about me. Maybe it doesn't say anything about me. Maybe it's just something I first watched when I was, what? Like 22, 23 in college? Was that about right? Maybe yeah, probably around 23, 24. Somewhere in there. 22, 23, 24, somewhere in there. Yeah. And it just kind of stuck with me. All these years later. I don't know, this is a completely different tangent, but thinking about the self-life of ideas. Like, you ever just say something and it kind of takes on a life of its own and, like, the people around you, like, won't let it die? Like, isn't that always a little unfortunate? But then, like, there's definitely people who would kill to have anything they say be, like, We got 8. Okay, that should be fine. But yeah, there's definitely people who would kill to have their ideas last at any point for longer than like 10 seconds. I don't know. I think about that a little bit just because just because of who I am. Like I like to troll people by arguing for communism whenever it comes up. Because where I live, people like to use communist as an insult for progressives and like leftists, and it's like, well, I mean, they're not synonymous. Like, definitely, you would hope that the average communist would be progressive or a leftist, would see themselves as allied with with that wing of people. But not everybody who calls himself a communist is straight up progressive. And not everybody who's a leftist is a communist. And definitely don't confuse any of those people with with liberals. I don't know. People are weird. Like, there's definitely and I guess like my biggest pet peeve is like people just don't understand like where these terms come from. Like, the reason we use left wing and right wing is literally because that's a term that was used like during the French. Was it the French Revolution or was it? It was some other. It was some French period of time. And I want to say it was like the left wing and the right wing, where like the conservative people were preserving the monarchy and the progressives were not, were abolishing the monarchy. I don't know. I want to say that's where it comes from, though. I could be wrong. Look it up. Prove me wrong. But I want to say that's why we use that, and that's kind of wild. Likewise, terms like radical and reactionary, with radical being used for not progressives, but like the left wing, and then radical is left wing, reactionary is right wing. Literally came about where like when like a lot of the political assassinations were literally being done by the left-wing people, by anarchists, and communism was sweeping the world by storm. Like, it's a wild paradigm shift until World War II happened, and then America was like, nope, we're going to interfere with every country that even smells like communist. Like, I don't know. The late 1800s to post World War II is a very interesting time in human development, in societal development, in terms of ideas that still kind of like bleed into society and still affect society today. And I guess like it's kind of wild to just take that stuff for granted. That a lot of the things we just talk about and dismiss and accept as like just parts of the world are older than you'd expect. Well, that's kind of how it always is, though. Everything's a little older than you'd expect it to be. Like, people have been complaining about goods they bought that weren't up to snuff for probably as long as we've had writing. As long as we could itemize a bill and complain about it, like okay, I need to get rid of the magma cubes, that's why. Gotcha. Or magma cream. We got the magma cubes. We got them. But now we gotta get rid of that cream. Yeah. I guess I'd always be wary of calling myself something without knowing where the term came from and without knowing the history of it all. Because everything comes with a little baggage. And you can't really fully, or rather, rather you can't endorse a policy or an idea without fully understanding it. If you, what do I want to say here? I know the spirit of what I want to say. I don't know the words. If you endorse an idea without understanding it fully, you run the chance of allowing it to like control you in weird ways, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'd hope that it would be a little more I don't know, that's not entirely the point of what I was trying to make, but it's close enough. And definitely the idea that if it's not you choosing and understanding an idea, the idea kind of I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's just I've known a lot of people, like when I went to art school, I knew a lot of people who were like openly like various forms of like progressive, or you know, just ironically like if I had a dollar for every Stalinist I met, and Stalinists are not progressives, they're not communists, they're just people who for whatever reason think we are either like enamored with Joseph Stalin or are like basically like Soviets who don't want to say the word Soviet. I don't know. But yeah, if I had a dollar for every time I met somebody who called himself a Stalinist, I'd have $2. Which, you know, is kind of weird. A little unfortunate, personally. I don't really understand the appeal. So it's not like I don't know, I don't get it. But at the same time, it's like I'm sure they do or they don't. I don't know. But I've definitely met a lot of people who would call themselves like communists, but also don't really believe in like, or they don't really see the point of like fighting the state. Where it's like, well, you know, if you're an actual communist, don't you want a classless, privilegeless, stateless society where people do what they can and get what they need, you know? It's like, nah, I just want healthcare or whatever. I just want this or that. I don't know. Or people who are, and I guess this is my big thing. This is the big thing that I saw as a sculpture student, are people who care about the environment and want to inform people about like environmental issues while making artwork that is fairly like damaging to the earth to acquire the materials for. Like, I don't know, it's weird to see somebody create something out of like wood and metal and then like try to say like, oh yeah, I want this piece to inform people about how wasteful society is, or that we should be more respectful of the environment. And like, these are good things. We should be respectful of the environment. I'm not knocking that idea. I'm not knocking people for wanting people to be informed about like all the little ways society is destroying, or how businesses and how everything in our society works that like erodes the ability of like other life forms to exist. Like, yeah, we damage things really bad. and if you read about it or see pictures of certain like environments that we've destroyed, like that's awful. It really is. It's definitely very sobering. Goodbye. But I don't think you can really make that point with a... Oh, I walked into the fire again. Okay, that's on me. I don't think you can make the point that, like, we're destroying the planet. And maybe you can. Maybe you can make the point that we're destroying the planet while also, like, creating a wood or sculpture or metal sculpture without knowing, like, the impact of, like, what did it take to get that wood? What did it take to get that metal? What about the gases that you use to weld the metal and the copper that you use to weld the metal? Like, I don't know. I think about things like that where, like, if all the pieces of the progress and the materials and everything don't align with your message, then, like, you're not really making a proper message, personally. And I know that's kind of contrarian and also kind of, like, shitty. Because, like, I agreed with the message of, like, I agree with the message in general of we should be respectful and aware of, like, what we do to the environment. We should. Like, that's a good thing. It's a good thing to care about stuff like that. While also being like, yeah, but at the same time, maybe the way you're going about this isn't the best. I don't know. That's something I dwell on. Because, you know, as an artist, like, it costs money to acquire materials, but also, like, I guess zooming out, everything you buy requires multiple people in order for it to exist, right? Like, the pencil doesn't just spontaneously exist. The pencil requires people to harvest the wood. It requires people to grow the trees that will be harvested. It requires people to mine the graphite and potentially process the graphite. Graphite, whatever it is. It requires people to process both of these to the point where they can be combined. It requires people to harvest the metal. It requires a machine to paint the metal. It requires the work to create and process and harvest the rubber for the eraser. Like, it's pretty much impossible for one person alone to make a pencil. But with multiple people working multiple jobs, completely unaware that other people are doing what they're doing. Like, we get pencils. You can buy a bunch of them in a box. It's not expensive at all. But when you think about all of the impact of every choice that it takes to make one pencil, like, I don't know. I kind of wonder if it's worth it. And I say that as somebody who likes art and is in general, like, yeah, it's probably worth it. Like, why else would we be here if not to do things? While also being aware, like, doing things has a cost. And that cost isn't always a monetary thing. Sometimes it's just to do one thing means nobody else can do that thing ever again. Sometimes it means if a whole country wants salt, it means mining out an entire salt lake. And nobody else can get salt ever again from that lake. Sometimes, in order to have batteries, it means we have to mine lithium and poison an entire, like, county. I don't know. There's cost to everything. And I don't think we as a society have the ability to understand the impacts of all the little dumb choices we make and all the dumb little wants we have. We take a lot of things for granted. And it's easy to say, like, yeah, I want the world to be a safer, better one, and I want to protect the environment. While also being completely blind or numb or unaware of the impact that like your morning coffee has. Getting from wherever it's grown in South or Central America or in Africa or in Asia to getting to you. Whether you brewed it yourself or a coworker brew it or you got it from Starbucks or Panera, like, I don't know. It's interesting. I do find how complicated the world is really fascinating. But it's also kind of exhausting to think about. And I'm not saying all this stuff to be like, oh yeah, it's totally pointless to do anything or say anything of any meaning. You shouldn't try. There is no hope. We're all gonna die. The planet's dead already, basically. We're all screwed. Like, that's not my point. My point is, I don't even know what my point is. I feel like I went to a very cynical place. And that's not really where I want to be as a human being. I don't want to be in a cynical place. I don't want to have a cynicism inside me. Because there's a lot of beauty in what we do. There's a lot of beauty in what can be done. There's a lot of beauty on this planet Earth. And all of its very weird and very unpleasant life forms. Many of which I like less than you guys. Many of which I like a lot less than even the people I dislike. Because, Jesus Christ, why is there a barnacle that lives on shark's eyes? Why is there a crustacean that eats a fish's tongue and lives in their mouth? It's just, it's gross, it's bizarre. And as long as you guys aren't pulling garbage like that, I'm fine. I'm fine with you guys, as long as you're not, like, living in people's mouths. Or eating their eyeballs, scraping their eyes for sustenance. Like, I don't know, that's a little too much. A bit too far for me. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the whole... I'm not a fan of parasites in general. That's my opinion. I'm not a fan of parasites. Don't think I ever will be. Now watch me fall down this thing next time. Now that we've hidden our magma hole a little bit better. And let's see, can we find more spots where the dirt is exposed? We can, and we are. Hooray. Golf clap, slow clap, fast clap, whatever clap we want to clap. And I think next time what we'll start with is just filling up our inventory again with netherrack. And then we'll spend the rest of the whole thing just going to town on netherracking it up. And we'll probably spend the next few videos just netherracking it up. As unfortunate as that is, it's what we're gonna be doing. And if you have any complaints, feel free to complain in the comment section below. Remember to like, dislike, or comment or subscribe if you want. It's a free YouTube for now. Yeah. Hopefully talking about messages isn't seen as too bleak, hopefully. Because it is important to think about like how you understand the world and how you want to be understood. It's pretty important, I think. And if you're not like a creative, it doesn't really matter that much, but I think it still does. I think it still matters. It's important to care about things. It's important to have things that you are willing to fight for and like argue for, stand up for. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me spending my entire childhood playing video games and watching anime and stuff and reading manga. All that stuff's got like weird ideals stuck in my head. And maybe real people who like live real lives don't have these kinds of ideals stuck in their head. I don't know. But I don't know. I'd like to keep trying my best. And I hope you guys keep doing your best too. I think that's the most anybody can ask of us anymore. At this point, try and survive, and if you can, thrive. Okay, so I guess we're going to bed. And I think we are probably going to try to use up all of the netherrack we gathered. And then that'll probably be it. We're not gonna have time to donk around with the ship at all. So maybe tomorrow, or not tomorrow, I keep saying tomorrow. Maybe next time what we'll start with is we'll do the things on the ship that I said we'd do, the anchor, the mast, get rid of the dirt. Then we'll fill up our inventory with a netherrack, and then we will get on with this stuff. We will try to terraform this place as much as possible, as quickly as possible. You know, it's kind of funny to to be a person talking about how we should be considerate of how we talk about and how we introduce the idea of, you know, preserving the environment while being a dirty terraformer in Minecraft. That's something also to think about. At least a little. And hopefully it looks impressive when we're done. I don't think it will. It's just netherrack. But who knows? Maybe we'll get a lot of lava. We'll get some fire going up in here. We'll make it look okay. We'll get some more airships, maybe. If we get a cool material, maybe we'll make a little Bowser castle somewhere. Yeah, we can make it look nice. I'm not a fan of what I'm doing here. I need a pickaxe. Because I keep placing blocks in the wrong spot. Okay, let's see. Where are... No. 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 Well, at least it breaks a little faster than you'd expect. That's good. Okay, let's grab some more netherrack and then keep placing it. And depending what time it is when we're done with that, that'll probably all we do, because I think everything else will take a little bit too long. So I apologize that this was just a netherrack day. Hopefully some of the stuff we talked about wasn't too alienating or frustrating. And if it was, let me know. If you never want to hear about a certain topic again, just tell me. That's all it takes. A little bit of communication. Goes a long way, allegedly. Boop, 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 ba-doop. You're definitely grass. I need all the grass to go away. It gets in the way. It makes things a little harder to deal with. But yeah, I think what we'll do next time is we're going to take out that little like island isthmus, peninsula, whatever it is. Whatever that thing is in the back there, we'll knock that out. And then we'll try to knock out everything around. And hopefully we've got enough netherrack where we don't have to mine it ever again. That'd be nice. I'm kind of done with the idea of mining netherrack for a while, I think. We've kind of spent too much time doing this so far. I'm ready for a new project. I know this is kind of like the largest scale thing we've done, probably. But I'm ready for a new project. And look at that, we are getting closer and closer to just being done with this place. How's that for fascinating? Yeah, how's that for fascinating? Okay. I don't even know how far we'll go. Like, far enough. But yeah, we still got that whole thing to do. Yikes. And to think, we have gotten a fair amount done. Still have so much left to do, though. So much left. Oof. Oh well, it is what it is. We haven't yawned in a while, though. That's good. I'll take that as a win. Kind of got a little bit of an awakening. A little bit into it. When we finally got some topics we could talk about, ramble about, stumble around, you know? That's my bread and butter. Finding a topic that I don't really feel comfortable talking about openly and then just continuing to stumble around it. Yep. That is the way we can be. I said that and now I'm yawning. Dang. Jinxed myself. Oh well. Tis fine, tis fine. Yeah, I kind of wonder how far I'll feel comfortable extending this all, though. I don't know. Because at a certain point, it's just we're gonna have to decide on some hard borders, aren't we? We're just gonna have to decide, like, oh yeah, this cannot continue to extend beyond this point. And is that... Nope, we got one more. Okay. And with that, that is all our netherrack. That we had on our person. Not everything we mined. Not by a long shot. Neat. After all, who needs water being everywhere? Oh my goodness. This is kind of excessive, I would say. My hope is, though, that this does end up looking kind of neat when we're all done. When all is said and done. Having a little heck environment in the natural world and the overworld kind of be seen as a neat thing. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, I've definitely reached the point where my brain has stopped working and I no longer really have anything to talk about. I apologize for that. We've reached the dead zone. Intellectually speaking, verbally speaking, we are out of it. Hopefully I managed to talk about things that are neat. And if I didn't, I apologize. Because combining that with mining netherrack for what, an hour and a half? And then placing netherrack for a half hour. That's no good. Next time we'll probably be placing a lot of netherrack still. Oh well. Someday we'll be done with it. Someday. But until then, we're just stuck in the middle of it. Doing our best. Gosh darn it. Such a small thing, yet such a waste. There we go. Cool, cool. We managed to do a little bit more. So we managed to fill up the chest finally. We died by burn damage, unfortunately. And we placed some more netherrack. So next time we will work on our ship. We'll work on getting netherrack placed. And then we'll probably just keep doing that until the ship's done and until the netherrack's placed. We'll divide it up. Do our best. Thank you for watching. I'm going to bed. I'm going to take a bath and go to bed. It's too late. I've been up too late. I'm up too late. Hopefully you are not up too late. Hopefully you're living your life at a normal time, normal pace, getting stuff done. Let's keep doing our best. Let's aim for a big win-win at some point. If it can't be this year, maybe next year, maybe the year after that. Let's aim for glory. Let's aim for greatness. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.